Look at this. Are we live? What's happening?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Ruel.
Hello. Hey, Rahdo. What's going on? How are you doing?
Oh, my goodness. Hey, everybody.
Oh.
Okay. This is it. It's the first episode. And I was so busy focusing on the YouTube video that even though we had this really great transition worked out, it all blew up and it's all my fault. I'm working with a consummate professional, but we're just going to get through it, Ruel. We are definitely going to get through this. I promise. Hey,
absolutely. And you know what? That's part of the charm of R&R. You never know what's going to happen, friends. We may screw up a transition. We may, I don't know, drop a game on ourselves. You don't know. And that's the beauty of live streaming. Richard, I'm so happy to be here. I am thrilled to be part of Rahdo Runs Through. You don't know how much of a big fan I am of yours and also the work you've done over the years. You have actually taught me many games over the years through your YouTube channel. So for me to be here with you is just the thrill of a lifetime, my friend.
You have to knock it off, sir. That is far too kind. You are far too generous. I've been a big fan of yours ever since you got online for the first time, I think, just a bit over a year ago in April. I just saw you pop up one day. And I guess you had already been doing some stuff on Renegade streams, but then you started your own live streams. I thought, I like the cut of this guy's jib. I think there's something going on here. And, you and I have done a few things over the last year, some top 10s and whatnot. And, you have been one of my favorite co-hosts I have had. I just really enjoy talking with you about games and just life in general, the few chances we've had to do it. And when it came up, the idea of doing a continuation of a show that Tom Vassell and I did last year called Corner to Corner. And, I've been, ever since that show went off the air, people would say, oh, we'd love to see more Corner to Corner. Tom's busy, I'm busy. But when I thought maybe I should do this, you were literally the first person I thought of that I want to every week, like clockwork, on Wednesday at noon, if we continue with this particular time slot, sit down and talk about games for an hour because I just love hanging out with you.
Thank you. And that's so kind of you, Rich. I really appreciate that. And, I got to shout out your shirt. I love your shirt. Look at that, folks. Team Vax. We hope everyone's on Team Vax these days and hope you're all staying safe out there. I really appreciate the kind words, Rahdo. And you know what? We're going to have some kind words, hopefully, for some of the games that we're looking at today. But we shall see. Yes.
We have all kinds of games. But before we get to the games, we've got some housekeeping to do. Let's talk about our sponsor, because this inaugural episode of the R&R Show is brought to you.
We're ready for it.
By puppies. There you go. He thought I was going to say it. I thought he was going to push the button. We were so prepared. But puppies, folks, look at them. They're cute. They're fluffy. They're adorable. Ruel, do you like puppies?
I love puppies. They are some of my favorite creatures in the entire world. If you look right above my head, there's a pug puppy. We have a pug named Bruno, who sometimes shows up in our live streams. He's a good boy. I hope y'all have a good boy or a good girl or a good puppy as well. Yes. Do you have a puppy or dog?
Yes, we do. I put that pug right there because I knew that's what you were going to be on the right side of the screen. And you'll notice right below me is a beagle. My wife and I are very well known for the beagles we've had over the years, or beagle mixes. But of course, all puppies are wonderful. And I'm sorry, this episode could have been brought to you by kittens as well. Perhaps a future episode will be, unless, of course, you happen to be a member of the board gaming industry and you're looking for maybe some promotional opportunities for your games or your services or your retail channel. Sponsorship slots are open for the hottest new show on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, the R&R Show. So we are done with these puppies. Get them out. Get them out.
Bye, puppies. We'll see you later, puppies.
Okay.
Look at that.
Right. See. So what other bookkeeping do we have? Next up, folks, to celebrate our first episode of the show, we thought we'd do something a little special, something I've pretty much never done in my decade of game filming. We're going to do a giveaway for a wonderful game that a lot of people love. It's Fort. It's Fort. Ruel's got his copy of Fort right there. I've got my copy of Fort right here. Actually, my copy of Fort is in the other room. This is a copy that is still in shrink, as you can see, and it potentially has your name on it. If you would like to win a copy of Fort sent to you anywhere in the world, what you need to do is send an email to contest@rahdo.com, which I think is going to appear on screen. Look at that. Look at this guy. He is so professional. I am I am dragging us down, but he is lifting us up. You can send an email to contest@rahdo.com, and the subject of the email, well, Ruel and I are both very old. We are of a certain age. And we remember from our childhood and teen years a show called Pee-wee's Playhouse. And every episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse, there was a secret word. And when the secret word was spoken, everybody was supposed to shout. So we have a secret word. And folks, we're going to make you work for it. At some point in this episode, we will reveal the secret word. We will scream, just like proper Pee-wee devotees. And you will then know what to send. And don't worry, we'll remind you at that point, hey, this is a secret word. This is what you have to send to contest@rahdo.com to win this copy of Fort Still in Shrink. Okay, I think, let's see, is there anything else? We've introduced each other and how much we mutually admire and respect and love each other. We've offered incentives for people to stay and watch. We have expressed our deep love of puppies. Oh, you know what? One thing that Tom and I used to do that everybody loved is everybody guess what's Rahdo got on the table, because at any given time the next thing I'm going to be filming is on the table. So Ruel, are you curious?
Yeah, I am totally curious. Let's see. I see a big map.
Yes,
I see a bunch of meeples. What
can the audience figure it out?
Yeah, audience, what do you think Rahdo's got here?
Look at this audience participation. I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Hey, I can even give you a better view. Boop.
Look at that, friends. Now, Mr. Linguist has already tried to jump into the contest here. Mr. Linguist, I will verify that is not the secret word. Good try, though. But very creative. I like that.
All right. If they can't figure it out, I will reveal. Do we have any guesses? No? All right.
What is that? Someone's saying Andrew says the Excavation Earth expansion?
Well spotted, my friend from Malta. Well done, sir. It is. It belongs in a museum, the expansion for the wonderful stock market manipulation game. When I covered Excavation Earth earlier this year, I said, this is a really sharp game from designer Dave Turczi, except it's really cutthroat. Man, I wish it had solo mode. It does now, and I'll be filming a run through with the expansion, showing the solo mode and all of that in the coming weeks. I think it goes live next week, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
Right. And
very nice.
That was not a sponsorship for the show. It's just what I've got coming up next. So that's the What's Rahdo Gonna Film Next segment. And I think that we've got this out of the way, we can actually go to the real first segment of the show, for which we have not created any animated bumpers or anything like that, because we were just doing good to pull, just to rub two sticks together just to get this thing going, I think. Well, what's happening?
What's happening is we've got Game Watch. Right before we get into this, I want to shout out everyone in chat. We really appreciate y'all hanging out, chatting it up. I see a ton of comments coming in. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook Live. So thank y'all for spending part of your day with us here today. We've got Game Watch. And Richard, do you want to talk about what Game Watch exactly is?
Here's our plan for Game Watch. And actually, looking at oh my God, Scott Alden is here. Hey, Scott. Hey, Alden.
Hey, Scott.
Good luck with the convention. Very exciting. Yes. And Kabuki Kid is here. We're doing a live stream. Aren't we supposed to spend the first 10 minutes just saying hi to everybody as they show up?
We're gonna say hi. We've got we talked about Mr. Linguist. We have Scott Alden from BGG, and Kabuki Kid says, or there's Scott. Kabuki Kid says, a Game and Watch Nintendo. No, it's not going to be Nintendo.
Kabuki Kid knows me, though. I worked for Nintendo for 3 years in my early 20s. So,
okay.
Yeah, there was a hidden meaning when I chose this, and I didn't think anybody'd pick up on it. But of course, the Kabuki Kid is always there with the pop culture references of a certain age.
Stacey Everdell says hi to everybody. Thank you, Stacey. And we are saying hi to everyone as well. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Yeah, we just sort of jumped right into it. I mean, we're flying by the seat of our pants here, friends, and what happens. So thank you for your as we get into this first episode of R&R. We're gonna jump around. Should we say hello to some more friends here? I see James. I see Armor Sword.
Now, I didn't hear a thing you said. So either my internet went bad or your internet went bad. Okay. But I can hear you just fine now.
You're okay now. Hey, the beauty of live streams. I was just saying hi to everyone. I was just saying hi to everyone in chat. Welcoming them here. I assuming everything works now. Okay, yeah.
We'll get through it.
We'll get through it.
Okay.
Amanda Panda does say that we just got raided on Twitch from our friend Book of Nerds. So thank you, Book of Nerds, and welcome, Raiders.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So.
Oh, we don't get that information when we're looking through StreamYard.
Yeah. Because we're using StreamYard, which is a great piece of software, but there are some limitations to it as well.
Yeah, like certain events that we would see if we were on the Twitch stream. We get to see a combined comment stream, but apparently it does not send events over.
That's right.
No,
and
well, I guess
I want to thank
you need to get over there and watch for that stuff.
Maybe watch for that stuff, and I can pull that up. I do want to thank James and also Lucas and Nicole for just verifying our audio video is good on each of the platforms. Thank you all, friends, for that's what I love about live streaming. It's this really collaborative effort, not only just with the host but our audience as well. We all look out for each other. We all try to make sure everything's running smoothly. So thank you, friends.
Yes. That's another reason I'm happy to have Ruel here. He has been pretty much predominantly all of his content for the last year has been live streaming focused. And I'm still a complete novice and noob. So I'm happy to be in his warm and safety defining embrace as he walks me through the turbulent waters. Look at that.
This is an internet hug. Internet hub for everyone. Yes.
Okay. We've been away from games long enough. You gave me a perfect segue to talk about Game Watch, and I completely squandered it. But I'm going to turn it around now. So Game Watch. First of all, as Kubuki pointed out, it has the nice little dumb meaning for a former Nintendo employee like myself. But this is where Ruel and I will talk about upcoming games that have caught our eye and that maybe haven't quite gotten heralded as much as other games. At least that was the remit we talked about. I have no idea what Ruel is going to talk about. He doesn't really know. I did send him a list, and then he accidentally looked at it, but he wasn't supposed to, and there was but he doesn't really know. I have no idea what he's going to do, but we're just going to talk about a few, and I'm sure he's monitoring the chat if people have questions or what have you. Should I go first or you?
Why don't you start things off?
Okay, which means you got to put us in the box.
Yep, I'm going to bring us BGG, right?
Our favorite website in the world.
Yes.
Okay, go to the page devoted to The Spill.
The Spill.
Which, if I recall correctly, is from Smirk and Dagger Games.
All right.
There we go. Art from Kwanchai Moria, which is awesome. It's got a beautiful cover art there. If you
had me at Kwanchai. You had me at Kwanchai right there, folks. Oh my! I love his artwork. Look at that.
Yep. There's good stuff.
Gorgeous.
But forget about the art. The gimmick is what really makes this game cool. I think the first picture is a picture of the game set up, right? So basically, this is a cooperative game where players are working together to try to stop an oil spill that is live, spreading out as you play, and everybody's working to clean it up and also keep the wildlife out of danger. And if the wildlife gets dirty, getting the wildlife cleaned up as well. It's actually a fairly grim theme. But personally, I would much rather play this than we've had a minor spat recently, or a spate of oil rigging themed games. And every time I see those, they just kind of feel, I just can't bring myself to enjoy something like that anymore based on the state of the world. So a game about actually undoing the damage that they cause is very exciting. And then on top of that, what's even cooler that I know my wife will really love, go back to that game picture. That oil rig in the center, that's a dice tower. And
I dropped it was. That's so awesome.
You drop little black dice that represents the oil, and the thing splits them into 4 different lanes. So the different quadrants, so you don't know exactly where the oil is going to spread. And so every round, more of it's coming out. And our player avatars we have little wooden meeple ships, and we are sailing around the outskirts, trying quickly to get from one side to the other, because we have some basic idea of where the spread is happening, but it can always, throw us for a mix. It's got pandemic-esque, unique player powers and all of that. And it's from Smirk and Dagger Games. This is a very big departure for them. They are known for, it's in their name, it's in their title. They are known for cutthroat games where you stab each other in the back while smiling. Smirk and Dagger. But here, they have made a cooperative game, and it's such a big departure for them. I got to think that means they've got a huge amount of confidence in it. So it's the first one I wanted to talk about on the first episode of R&R, The Spill.
Nice. The Spill. I love the theme, and like you were saying, the whole oil spill thing and that type of theme. I think immediately of Pipeline.
Exactly.
That type of game, and this is really interesting. Okay, first of all, that dice tower. I want it just for the dice tower alone. That thing is awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, Smirk and Dagger, they have don't they have either a sister company or whatever called Smirk and Laughter, which is more like their family games?
News to me. That's why you're here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look real quick. The Smirk and Dagger, that's their main company. Then they do have a Smirk and Laughter brand, which is, I believe they did. What's that game? It was an abstract game 2 years ago, or I'm not gonna figure it out now. But the beauty of live stream, folks. I'm gonna look here.
What are the maybe we should have worked this out ahead of time, perhaps, instead of just
Cutthroat. Cutthroat Caverns is one. Dead Last is another.
Yeah, that's what they're known for. The Cutthroat Caverns is their bread and butter. I mean, that's how they made their name, and it's what everybody expects. A few years ago, I covered another game called Emergency or something like that, where it was a cooperative real-time game where you were paramedics, and it was great. But then they kind of moved away from that, so it's exciting to see that back. Okay, you found them. What is their other? Smirk and Laughter.
Smirk and Laughter Shobu. This was a really cool abstract game. It just this game like felt like something that's been around for 100 thousands of years or whatever, but it was made 2 years ago. Smirk and Laughter, they have this is their sister company, or actually maybe just another brand of theirs, but they have games. Let's see what they rank. Shobu, Koi, which I've played before, nice little set collection game with beautiful fish tiles, and some of these other ones, Not So Fast, Cinder, and so forth.
So, but I mean, those are, like I said, those are lighter gateway-ish style games. So I guess that's why this isn't under that label, because I do think this is more along the lines of a pandemic style experience. I think it did actually talk about there's like a module you can turn off to make it a little bit more gateway-ish when I read the rest. But honestly, I mean, I was grabbed by the Kwanchai Moria art, and then when I saw there was a dice tower, and then when I read about the theme and how exciting it is, I'm really stoked for this. And prior to this week, I'd never heard of it till I started actually sitting down saying, well, what are we going to talk about in our first game watch? And it's the spill. So top that. Not that it's a competition, but what do you got?
I'm excited about this one too. I've got a game from, y'all might have heard about this designer before. The gentleman's name is Richard Garfield.
Yes.
He's done a few games that we may have played before, but this is his newest, latest and greatest from Renegade Game Studios. Full disclosure, I wrote an article about this for Game Trade magazine. This is The Hunger from Richard Garfield from Renegade Game Studios. This is a deck builder, and the reason why I'm really interested in this is it's got the type of deck building that I really like, and that is deck building as part of a larger game. It's not just purely cards, but you have a board, and it's a vampire themed game. So you are you hunting vampire? No, you are vampires trying to hunt your victims, right? And it's got a little race element, a push your luck. So you're on the board. Let me see if I got the board here. Maybe they don't. But anyways, it's a deck builder. There's some of the standard cards you get there. You're going to use these to move around the board, and you're going to hunt your victims, hopefully do the things that vampires do. And then you have to race back to the start of the board, because if there's a timer, it's exactly 15 turns, and you need to get back before, the sun comes out, and that's when things happen that are not good for vampires. So it's got a race element, push your luck element. That push your luck element actually sort of reminds me of Clank. That's another game that Renegade did, where you have, you're going through a castle exploring using deck building, and then you have to race back to the top of the castle or above ground. This is a little similar. It's got that mechanism where you need to race back before the sun hits you, and what happens to vampires when they hit the sun, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Richard Garfield, King of Tokyo, Magic the Gathering, all kinds of great stuff. So that's The Hunger from Renegade Game Studios.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I thought about this one. It looks like that's great art, and there's no denying. I mean, Richard Garfield has earned his bona fides a million times over. He basically created an entire industry with Magic the Gathering. I didn't look at it that close though, because it seems like the majority of his recent games have been a fair amount of, cutthroatness, take thatness. I mean, that just seems like, I think, the way he naturally is predisposed to go. Do you know? If we are at each other's vampiric throats in this, or is it more?
We are.
Well, there you go.
It is a competitive game for 2 to 6 players. Yeah, vampires don't really work well together. I guess.
I imagine not.
There's no vampire union. But it is a competitive game, and it's funny. The last game I played of Richard Garfield's was actually a trivia game of all things.
Oh,
there was he partnered with Ken Jennings and did a game called Half Truths. Did you play that one, Richard?
No. But I mean, party games don't really work for just me and my wife Jen as a general.
Yeah. It was such a weird pairing to me. Richard Garfield and Ken Jennings. I had to play it, so it was okay. It was an all right game. It was fun. But yeah, so that is The Hunger. And we are going to move on to your next pick.
How's the audience doing? Is everybody okay?
The audience is doing fantastic. I see Book of Nerds in the house. Before you play, Monique and Naveen are in the house as well. Thank you all for joining us. Who else we got here? We got Scott Nelson. Hello, Scott. Kabuki Kid, we said hello to. James, and so forth.
Oh, I think I saw Leva, a close friend of Jen's and my wife, who we've had many encounters with at Essen Spiel over the years. Hey, Leva.
Cool.
Yeah. Before you play,
you truly have an international audience. This is great.
I'm just now worried that when I said earlier that of all the people I did collabs with over the course of the year, you were my favorite one. I really enjoyed my collab with Monique and Naveen too. They were awesome. We had a great time doing top 10 fillers. Everybody should go check it out. They have an amazing channel. They are blowing up, and deservedly so. Hey gang. Okay. Right. Okay. Now that I'm done embarrassing myself there, what was my second one? Oh, my second one, if you want to type it in, is Beyond the Edge. And
this is another game I had no idea about. Here's the deal. I'm excited about this.
I have been passively following this game, I feel like, for years, because it's been listed on Board Game Geek for a long time. And even still, there's not that much information about it. And I don't think they have any art other than just the box cover. So I'm really jumping the gun on this quite a bit. But I'm still I've been excited about this ever since the first time I heard of it. It is a big, sprawling 4X-ish style, science fiction game. But number one, it's cooperative. Thank you. We have enough Twilight Imperium, competition out there. It's nice to maybe work together to save the galaxy rather than try to conquer it for once. I don't remember who was the designer. I can't quite make it out because I'm seeing a little postcard of what you see.
Yeah, Kenneth C. Shannon.
And what else has he done?
He has also done Linked Games, Adventure Inn, Approaching Dawn, The Witching Hour.
Sort by rank. What's his biggest game?
Let's go. Biggest game, Tournament at Camelot.
I know Avalon. I played one of his games. Oh, there you go. Maiden's Quest. Maiden's Quest was a really interesting little game where you play it entirely in your hand. It's one of those games where you can be standing in line and play a game. And it was basically a dungeon crawl that was all about girl power because it was about, the poor princess in the castle. She's not waiting for Prince Charming. She's going to bust herself out. And I mean, that was an awesome, fun little game. And so, but this is a big, big game for him. So I love the idea of space. It's just most of the time it's always competitive and trying to destroy each other's fleets and all that, boring for me anyway. So cooperative version, that's all nice. But that's not what makes this game stand out. Ruel, I assume you've heard of a little game called Oath.
I have.
Yes, I imagine most people have. And the big thing about Oath that everybody's excited about is, hey, we sit down, we play a game, the world changes, and the next time we play in that world. This game does that. But for a cooperative experience where after you and I have sat down and played a big epic thing and saved the galaxy again, the galaxy has changed and it's going to be in a different state. And not only the galaxy, but us as well. Our fleet of ships or our civilization or all that stuff, that will carry over from game to game. It's not a legacy game. It's not a campaign game. It's not like this is just driven through a story and hey, once you play through 6 chapters, it's over. You can play this 100 times and have this big epic story of how the galaxy has evolved over time, which again is what Oath does, but Oath is a very cutthroat game. And so very sadly, not for me. And then also it mentions in here an extra cool bit that, Ruel, if I've got my copy of Beyond the Edge that I play all the time with my wife, and you've got your copy in Southern California that you play with Michelle, and I happen to come down and visit, I can bring my customized, built over several games or dozens of games, spacefaring race, and I can plug it into your universe and continue playing. I think that's literally the last thing they say in that description. And I am so excited about this. I've been excited about it for years. And this, I just noticed, oh, look, they have finally put a bitmap of art. So maybe it actually exists now, or it will exist soon.
Wow. Yeah, there it is right there. The dry dock system.
Yeah.
Where you take your ship, captain, and missions, jump on other. Okay, that is really cool. Wow.
Yep. Very cool.
I've never heard of this game. I've never heard of the designer. I've never played his games. This is a game from WizKids.
Yes.
What's going on at WizKids to bring on this? This is great.
WizKids, has really been putting out some really great stuff over the last and I think this is going to be like their biggest one. And I think it's coming soon because we didn't mention this right up front. To actually collate this list, we went to the previews put together by the hardest working man in board gaming, Eric Martin, who is the head news guy of Board Game Geek. And he is constantly updating these quarterly preview lists that say, okay, this game is scheduled to come out sometime in this quarter. And so Ruel and I basically looked through the quarter we're in and the next quarter so that we could pick stuff that is in the near future. But then we also tried to pick stuff that, isn't catching quite as many eyes, but they still deserve a platform. So that's how I did it. You did it too, right?
Yep.
So everything we're talking about should be coming soon because Eric Martin says it is. And if it doesn't, you can blame Eric Martin.
I was just going to say, if anything's wrong, it's Eric's fault.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So what's next for you?
Yeah, that Beyond the Edge looks fantastic. I'm a sci-fi nerd, so anything like this is in my wheelhouse. And I do like the fact that it is a co-op rather than your standard, hey, let's all just battle in space type of thing. Yep. So that's really interesting. My next game, okay, so this one, I didn't really cheat, but I mean this one's pretty well known at this point. The Lost Ruins of Arnak, the Expedition Leaders expansion. So this one I'm hyped about because okay, so here's the thing. I have not actually played Lost Ruins of Arnak with more than one player. I've only soloed it.
What?
And I've only soloed the physical version. I know that there's a version on BGA as well.
Are you and Michelle having problems? Is everything okay?
No. No, it's just one of those things that just worked out where I would just solo the game. And I just, it didn't hit the table unless it was by myself. And I really enjoyed it. And then I know I'm going to like it multiplayer when I eventually do. I'll probably play with my buddy Daryl because he's a deck building fan. Hey, there's a theme right now. I've got 2 deck building games on my
look at that.
List
yes.
Here. Yeah. But again, like the other deck building game, I like it as a small part of it. I don't like a pure deck builder. This one, you are, Indiana Jones style, exploring ruins and trying to get to the temple and getting all these treasures and artifacts and so forth. And now with the Expedition Leaders expansion, that's
what's in here?
What is in here is the how do you call it? For other deck builders, you have your special decks for certain characters. I'm thinking like Hero Realms or games like that where each player gets a unique starting deck. This brings that type of element into it. So everyone, so we all have our different starting decks. Right here it says new element of asymmetry to the game. That's
the Clank thing. The Clank Adventuring Party decks. It's the same idea.
Absolutely. Yep, same idea.
Awesome.
So I'm a big fan of that. Arnak, I mean, I always felt like we had Dune Imperium last year, and we also had Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yep.
I haven't played Dune Imperium, but Arnak, what it does for me, I don't think it does anything it doesn't change the genre or anything. I just think it's a solid game, built from start to finish. It's really tight. And with this new expansion, you're going to have alternative research tracks. So the research tracks that you're going up, those are going to be different. And then you also have the artifact cards. And so new combos, and they say here new synergies as well. So I'm really looking forward to this. I need to play the base game multiplayer first. And
I think you should do that. I think you very much should do that, you weirdo. I kid. Oh, by the way, Kabuki Kid mentions in the chat, if you want to throw that on screen, apparently for solo Arnak fans, in case you don't know, there is a free solo campaign that you can download from the CGE website right now.
That's right. Yeah. And I think it's like 3 chapters right now. And I don't know if they're going to go to a 4th, 5th, or 6th or whatever. But yes, thank you, Kabuki Kid. That is correct.
I'm happy you mentioned this. I mean, maybe it doesn't fulfill the whole thing. Hey, lesser known stuff, because Arnak was certainly well known. But I have to say I'm happy about this too, because I thought Arnak was great. For me, what was it? The Winter Kingdom one is actually what won that fusion of deck builder plus worker placement last year, but it was only on Kickstarter at the time. But my only complaint I ever had about Arnak is the base cards that come with the game are a little straightforward. There's not a lot of really, whoa, look at this card. Yep. That changes things up. They're all, it's perfectly reasonable that it's like an introduction. And I just walked away from thinking, I want fancy cards. I want cool, new, out of the, really outside the box, mixes the game up. And I bet you that's what they're going to do. And you don't have to wait for them. They're right in your hand right from the get-go. So that is very nice. I did not realize that. I didn't know that part.
Yeah. So yeah, it is 6 unique leaders, and each one have different abilities, skills, and starting decks.
Cool,
Yeah, like you said, that's right. Exactly. Like, that's why I love doing the show with you, Rahdo, because you have such an encyclopedic knowledge of games that, one little mechanism here you can talk about, oh, that's in this game, and that game. That always blows me away. And that we are all learning from you, my friend.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, you have taught me stuff here today as well, Captain. So,
oh, Captain, Captain, my captain. Why don't I go here, friends? Someone just said Captain, and
the secret word of the day, folks.
That's the secret word, folks. There it is, Captain, my captain. The secret word is, and I'm just going to spell it out for you all right there. Secret word is Captain. This is our friend, the Captain, from the game Fort, which we are giving away today. So if you remember, you better remember, email rahdo.com or contest@rahdo.com.
Contest@rahdo.com, yes.
There it is, with the secret word Captain. Don't put it in the chat. I mean, you got to email so you have a chance to win your very own copy of Fort. There it is.
You've got a week to do this. So if you're not watching live today and you're watching a couple days from now, you basically have until Wednesday of next week when we will announce the winner and also announce our next contest, which will also have a secret word, which I will work in just as smoothly. So smoothly he didn't even notice it.
I almost missed it. That was almost too smooth for your own good.
I'm not known for smooth, but I'm pretty proud of myself that I got that working in there. Although having done that, I've completely forgot what we were just talking about, which I guess means we can move on to the next game.
Let's go to the next one. So what is your third and final game that we're looking at? You're a monster,
by the way, because I said, hey, we could each do 5. And he said, I think 3's okay. And I've got like 7 I want to talk about. But don't worry, folks. This segment will come back in the future. And I'm really torn. I'm so torn, but I think I'm going to go with Pessoa, which is Pessoa. If you can find that. And you got to bring us back on the big screen or bring your browser back.
And here's another game that I had no clue about, friends. So this is it right here. Pessoa.
Okay. Yeah, from Orlando Saw. He's done, his biggest deal, actually, correct me if I'm wrong. Check Orlando Saw. I believe he's the designer for Cafe, which is an amazing little card game that I covered a while ago. Oh, no. I'm thinking of a different designer. He did Porto, which is a really great game too. Porto really should get so much more love than it does. And I covered Rossio as well, which was a really neat, quirky, offbeat tile layer. So I already like his stuff. And I think he is an interesting up-and-coming designer to watch. But when I read about the subject matter of this, I really fell in love. This is a game. It's a worker placement game where we are all taking on facets of a famous Portuguese poet named, I'm sure the name is right there. I can't quite read it. Francisco Pessoa, I think?
Fernando Pessoa.
Yeah. Fernando Pessoa. And apparently Fernando Pessoa, amongst other things, is known for popularizing or pushing this idea of a writer having different personas that they write in. And there's a term for it in there. I don't remember what it is. But it's more than just a pen name or a pseudonym. That basically he created in his life 70 different characters that he would write as, so he could experiment with different writing styles and all of that. And so that's what he's known for. And then other writers have built on that. That idea. What is it? Is it heteronyms or something like that? I think.
Yeah, heteronyms. Yeah, heteronyms.
Heteronyms, yes. So what this game does to capture the essence of this man's work is each player takes on the role of one of his most famous heteronyms. I might be the doctor, that he would write medical based things under. And again, this was not a secret thing. It was not like an anonymous thing. This just gave him the opportunity to explore different artistic venues for his poetry and his writing. And I just think that's cool in and of itself. So to turn that into gameplay, I'll be a heteronym, Ruel will be a different heteronym, and the game is really about trying to find inspiration to write a new poem, to write multiple poems. That's how you score victory points. And so you have to spend your time in this worker placement game, placing your worker to represent Pessoa physically traveling to different places that inspired him in real life, cafes and all that sort of stuff. Or you can literally flip your meeple over to represent, now I'm not physically controlling him, I'm controlling the heteronym. And so suddenly the rules for my worker placement fundamentally change, including the fact that as a heteronym, I can actually travel to the center of the board. If you put, I think in the middle or the middle right, there's a picture of a rendering of what the game looks like. like the 5th or 6th one to my right.
Oh,
No, that's a terrible prototype. Okay, go back. Go back. You'll find it. There it is. It's the very first one. So in the center of the board, that is a rotating dial that represents the passage of time. I think the game takes place over 12 months. And you can bring your workers back there. And that represents you actually traveling into his imagination, which you can only do if you take on the heteronym role as opposed to the physical moving the person around the world role. And then there's other worker placement spots for actually writing your poems and scoring points and all of that. And I just got to say, this is so out of the box. And Rahdo saw, as a designer, and the publisher, which I think is Pythagorean or something like that, or Pythagus, they're a new up-and-coming publisher as well. I've covered a couple of their games. What is it? Pythagoras? Pythagoras. They do such weird, quirky, oddball things, but they come up with really interesting ways to make the theme come to life. And so if you are ever amongst your gaming friends and they are just giving this standard old, there's nothing new in board games, it's just the same old thing month after month after month, I would point out that you're just not looking hard enough, because cool little interesting offbeat things like Pessoa come out all the time. And that's why I'm excited for this one.
Wow. A game about a poet, but then it's got this whole, like, I don't know if it's like Inception level, like mind play, right? That's such a trip. I love that you're in the mind and you're playing these different heteronyms. Wow. And you said it perfectly. If you know, we've got a lot of veteran gamers in chat. I know that. And, you know, sometimes we can get a little jaded, right? With all the things that come out every month in the board game world. This, I've never seen anything like it, theme-wise, and oh my gosh.
And I think gameplay is going to be really outstanding and unique as well, with a new twist on worker placement born of the theme, as opposed to pasted on. So I'm super stoked about this. Somebody from the chat, Carolina, says she's excited because Fernando Pessoa, she knows from personal experience, he is an amazing poet. So that's cool. This game has the opportunity to, in addition to just giving us a fun time, open our eyes to something that maybe wasn't really part of our day-to-day life. So I'm very excited about that too.
Yeah. So it's educational without being an educational game.
Exactly.
Gotta love that.
All right.
Just want to clarify things up. We had some questions in chat regarding the giveaway. Do we want people to put the secret word in the subject line and or the body of the email?
The subject line is what's important, because I am literally going to set up Outlook.com to filter based on that. And I'm just going to say everybody who sent it to this email address that has Captain in the title is going to go into a folder, which then we will do a random drawing from to see who wins. So you can put it in the, you can put whatever you want. You can put a picture of puppies in the body.
Puppies.
Since this episode, of course, brought to you by puppies. There we go. He wasn't prepared for it, folks, and yet he was there. Johnny on the spot. Puppies.
There it is. Puppies.
Yes. Although, I don't know, maybe I don't want you to overload my email inbox. No, it's fine. My wife loves pictures of puppies. But that is not a requirement to win. The only thing is Captain in the subject title, sent to contest@rahdo.com. Thank you for clarifying. We'll get better at this, folks, I promise.
Yeah, this is the first episode. We're learning as we go.
We're doing okay, I think.
I think we're doing great. I'm learning all these new great games. And you know what? It's funny, now that I'm looking at my list of games, I really wish, well, you know what? It is what it is. I had some games that I probably could have gone with, but I wanted to go with this one, which I think people have heard of. But for me, I did not know that they were coming out with Arkwright, the card game.
Yes, yeah.
I did not know. Now, here's the thing. I have not played Arkwright, but I love Stefan Risshaus' game Gentes, or Gentes, is we call it. We call it Gentes here in Southern California because anything that's even close to a Spanish word, I'm going to go with the Spanish or Spanglish pronunciation. So Gentes, I love that game. I've heard nothing but great things about Arkwright. I know it's like a heavier game, but I'm curious, Richard. Yes. Arkwright, the card game. How is this going to be implemented? Like, I look at the weight, 3.67 for a card game.
Show me the pictures.
Pretty heavy.
Show me the pictures. Because Jen and I, we did play Arkwright, and Arkwright broke us. Arkwright was one of those things, and I'm getting flashbacks looking at these pictures right now. The original game is interesting. It comes with like an intro version and then like the full version, and the intro version is like a 4.0 on weight and difficulty. So I can't even imagine how far they take it. But it is a very rich era of industrialization, simulation, all about managing workforces and using special powers and all that. I mean, like I said, when I think I covered that when we were still in Malta, so it was a few years ago. But I remember just being so overwhelmed by it. I mean, this is kind of, Vita Lasarda makes heavy games. Hold my beer, says the designer of Arkwright. Yeah. That's what this situation is. So it is very interesting. I mean, what did you say the current stated weight is according to Board Game Geek? 3 point. That is big. I mean, they may not sound much, but right? for Board Game Geek, that's a high score.
Yeah.
It was definitely a sharp game. And Jen and I said, well, you know what? Maybe if there was like a card game version of this, we could actually enjoy it. So maybe we will.
Okay.
Not that I'm saying I planted any ideas. I didn't do any inception there.
I know we're going to have fun with this whole inception thing as we go on in these episodes. This is a game that I'm more familiar with the reputation of this game, the original game, than I'm actually familiar with the gameplay. Again, like I said, I liked his other game, Gentis. I have the deluxe version, which was a beautiful production. That game is fantastic. So I know this is like Industrial Revolution type stuff. It's got loans, market, and stock holding according to BGG. These aren't always my favorite games, but I'm super curious because it's got a card game version to it. So thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. I'm really curious to see how this plays out in real life when we get the game. That is Arkwright, the card game, friends. So
you know what? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna throw one more in. It's not a whole history, but since you, I just didn't put it on the list because there's nothing about it. I mean, there's literally just a box cover. You don't even have to go to the page. But folks, The Loop is getting an expansion. The Loop is the best pandemic-inspired cooperative game since Pandemic. It is amazing. It is one of the best games to come along in years. And I just the other day discovered, and I don't think people have been talking about, but they should be. What's the title of it? It's like Revenge of Fuzilla, I think, or something like that. Not Tales from the Loop, which I tried to watch. I think it was on Amazon Prime, and it was just too slow. The Revenge of Fuzilla. New playable characters, new game modes, and what was already such an amazing game. I hope that Pandasaurus will be picking this up. But even if they don't, I will have to get this, even if I have to play it in the original French. So I'm cheating. I'm calling it audible. I had a fourth entry, but that'll be all I have to say about it because I just love The Loop so much. So nice. Much. All right.
In The Loop, I've not played. You know what? Can I cheat too? Can I throw one more in here?
All right. Well? Okay. You were the one who said I had to 3.
I know. This one, and people will be familiar with the IP for this, I believe.
Tell me about this. I didn't actually spend any time. I saw this, and I put it on my wish list because I need to know more. But what is the deal with Fight Club, the home game?
So we were just talking about the poet game, right? You're in the mind. Just like in the movie Fight Club, one player is going to be the narrator, and the other is Tyler Durden. So you're fighting
before you continue on, folks. Spoilers for the movie Fight Club.
Spoiler alerts, yeah.
Just in case you have not seen Fight Club and you ever expect to do it, that was your chance to get out or hit pause or hit mute. Okay, please continue.
I mean, I think it's fair that, if you haven't seen a 20-year-old movie, I think, spoilers are sort of like going to be out there. But anyways, this is from Mondo Games. I think they're really on the, as far as like doing these really big IPs and also, more geared towards more of the mainstream market, I guess. I think I like what they're doing. They've done stuff. I think they did the Godzilla game that came out recently. They have the Unmatched license. So they've got, I just played Unmatched Deadpool.
Yeah, everybody loves that Unmatched.
Yeah, I do too. So this looks interesting. They call it deck construction, and it's tug of war. So you got your variable player powers. Each Durden, the narrator, are going to go. They've. I mean, you can see right here. It says, "Do not read this if you've not read or watched Fight Club." Primary essential. So,
by the way, does it say? A couple people have pointed out in the chat we broke the first rule here today, Ruel. You broke the first rule. What's the first rule of Fight Club?
Oh, there it is. Sorry, folks. We broke the rule. You do not fight. So maybe we shouldn't talk about this game. So you did not hear it here. Go ahead and look on VGG for something called Fight Club, the home game.
Yes. And take it from there. All right. Okay,
it.
cool. We have done our contest stuff. We have done our first segment. We now have a second segment. It's a quickie little one, I think, depending on how it goes. And after we're done with that, if you folks stick around, we can do some Q's and some A's. Because I feel like we've been ignoring you. Because we've just been too enraptured with each other. Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah, normally, Ruel is Johnny on the spot. He is always on top of the audience, always bringing them in, but he only has eyes for me now, I'm afraid.
That's what it is. My eyes are on you, my friend. So this next segment is actually called Ruel Ranks.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a fun segment because I'm not much of a game ranker, and now I know I'm the total opposite of you. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. I have a collection of 400 and some games. I think 350 some of them are ranked, and the only ones that aren't are the ones I haven't played. So what we have decided to do over the coming weeks and months is try to catch Ruel up. Because Ruel, you are, I hate to say it, a board game influencer. And people want to know. I know, nobody wants to hear it. But it's true. And so people wants to know. People can go to literally ranked.rahdo.com and see all of my rankings, in minute detail down to the 5th decimal point. And so we figure, hey, once a week, let's go on ahead and find one of Ruel's unranked games and get him to rank it. And then see if he ranks it correctly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Will I rank it correctly according to Richard? So I'm really curious about this. So James says Rahdo ranks to the 4th decimal on BGG.
Yes, I do.
Okay, that blows me away. I've done some like 7.5s, but you actually go like beyond that.
Here's the thing. My actual ranked list is literally a sequential list of how I rank every game relative to each other. So if I have an 8.5 and an 8.6, and then I find something I like that's in between the two of them, I have to call it an 8.55. And then later on, when I find another thing that's between the 8.55 and the 8.5, well, I have to rank that an 8.555. And over time, as I just find ways to squeeze these in, so I have one continue. It's so easy, Ruel, for me to do top 10s because you pick the topic, I just go there. Everything's already ranked.
That's okay. See, I'm learning from you. These are the things that professionals do, folks. They learn from the best, and I'm learning from the best here. I already know I need to start ranking these things. I'm going to share my screen. Y'all are going to laugh at some of my rankings because these are funny. These are funny. I truly think these are a blast. So as you can see, I have a perfect 10 for Happy Salmon. Okay, Happy Salmon's got a perfect 10. Also, Blood Rage, which has a perfect 10. Viticulture Essential Edition, Terraforming Mars, and Twilight Imperium, Crokinole, and Strike. Those are my perfect 10s. Having said that, I would, if I was going to rank today, I would probably change some of these rankings. I would knock down Terraforming Mars because I actually really enjoy Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition.
Ooh. So you're saying Ares Expedition is so good that it retroactively makes Terraforming Mars worse?
Just because of the length of game. Terraforming Mars will never take less than 90 minutes or even 120 minutes. Never. Ares Expedition, I can get almost the exact same experience in an hour or less. So, again, if I was
what do you want to rank today? We can't do them all.
I'm going to rank today.
I'm ready to.
Yeah, let me see. I've got filters on. I'm going to go here. I'll go by title.
Before you're done, go back to columns and turn on the column for pictures, thumbnails. You got to give the people
thumbnails.
Pictures.
All right.
There we go.
Done.
And it'll come up any second now.
Loading. Cool.
You were not prepared for that. Your computer cannot handle the thumbnails. Now, if you can control mouse wheel up, we can actually see them.
Okay. So here we are.
All right.
So we can let's rank. I'm just going to pick one at random, or why don't you pick one at random here, Richard? I'm just going to scroll. I don't know if you can see it.
Let's see here. Okay. You have not. What's wrong with you? You haven't rated. No, the one down. Aquatica. How could you have not rated Aquatica?
I haven't rated Aquatica because I've not played it. I'm playing it. Hey, and that's actually a perfect segue, friends. This Saturday on Tabletop Live Network, Michelle and I are playing this live Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific on my Twitch channel, Ruel Gaviola. Aquatica from Arcane Wonders. It's a sponsored stream. You can check us out there this Saturday. What a great segue.
You are smooth, sir. Well done. That's why you're the captain.
There it is. Special word.
Yeah.
Arkwright.
Have you played Arkwright?
Yes, and this is actually a really good
Oh,
one to
actually,
rank.
I didn't even notice. You have actually your number of plays over there. Okay. What's wrong with you? Well, I mean, are you on the fence? Do you not know how you feel about it?
No, okay. So here's the thing: when it comes to my plan of ranking,
Okay.
I don't know if y'all seen that Joker meme. Do I look like a guy with a plan? That's me right there. Ahael. This one I learned. When we first did our our top 10 cooperative games, I believe it was, or no,
Yes.
was it?
No,
it was the top
you
10
and I
games
did
outside of the 3,000.
Yes, yeah. The top 10 3K plus, yeah.
Yep. You had mentioned this game, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds like mine and Michelle's type of jam."
Oh, and
and
she
I
saw
got
it
this. I sought it out right after that episode, and sure enough, it was
well,
a
this is kind of
huge
scary
hit.
then. Oh, good.
Hit.
I did not
Yeah.
steer you wrong. Because
Yeah,
if you
you
suddenly
did
want to
not-
make it a 5, then I would have failed you.
No, this is a 6.7. I think is very low for this game. This is basically Tetris, the board game, friends. If you've never seen it, I like the theme. The theme is it's colorful, it's playful, it's like based on Portuguese neighborhood party, like a block party. My fellow Filipino American friends, you may think of something called the barangay. That's like the neighborhood. And it's a party. And what you're doing is just sliding down these pieces that look like Tetris pieces into, that's actually a sort of cool photo. That's not how you do it, though. These are standing up. Look at that. That's not a dexterity game, I promise you.
No. But those are good shots, yes.
Those are great shots. So you're just filling them on your little player board here. Here's a bigger shot. Yeah. And Michelle and I, it was instant love. We were like, "Oh, this game is so cool!"
Sharp,
yeah.
And the way you draft the tiles, because they go on a center rotating thing, and in Tetris, of course, Tetris identified thing. Oh, here comes the L, here comes the S. I can rotate it on its way down. Here, they rotate before you select them, and then you have to take them in the rotation and then slide them down. It's so clever. I mean, there are times when like, oh, you know what? I could take this, but I really need to rotate this because I don't want you to get this S in that configuration.
Right.
Really super clever game.
Yeah. And there's Michelle in chat, Mrs. Gav 2020, confirming that she loves Ahael as well. Why? I'll ask you this: why didn't this game take off? Like, was it released around the time like Darren Park?
Really good question. It was from publisher Meebo Games, and honestly, they just don't have as big a reach, I think. And they never found, like a publishing partner, like a Renegade or an AEG or something like that, to say, okay, well, this is great. It's a really cool game. Let's go on ahead and get it in all the retail channels, because I think it certainly deserves it. I do think I love the art style of this game, if you bring the cover art back up. But I do know when I covered it, a lot of people are saying, I do not like this art at all.
Oh, really?
Maybe that's it. I mean, people will judge a book by its cover, so...
Yeah, I like it too. Maybe it's too cartoony, I guess, for some
Maybe
folks.
We're just, again, we're old and we remember reading Mad Magazine and all the Sergio Leone or, all the cartoons in the margins and stuff like that. It really has that kind of a feel to it. What I'm talking about, I know.
Yeah, the little margins, the cartoons and margins. Sergio Aragonis of Classic Illustrated.
I said Sergio Leone, the film director, of course.
The film director, yeah. But maybe that's why I like it so much.
And James does mention in the chat that it was picked up by Pandasaurus.
That's right.
So that I don't know. Then Pandasaurus has big reach. Pandasaurus, I think it's eyes. Maybe I'm going to say it's the art then. Because I only know from personal experience. I got a lot of feedback when I put the first video up, saying, "Wow, that sounds really cool. I just don't like the look of it."
Yeah,
and art is subjective. Beauty, eye of beholder, all of that.
That's unfortunate because it's a wonderful game. As you can see here, folks, it only takes 30 minutes to play, and you can play it solo 1 to 4. I've only played it at 2 players with Michelle. We love every game that we've played. We've loved it. So how am I going to rank this, folks? What do y'all think? I am looking at ranking here. So 1 to 10 on BGG. It's definitely not a 5. Definitely not a 6. We're at good. We usually want to play. The 8 is very good. Enjoy playing. Would suggest it. 9 is excellent. Very much enjoyed playing it. And 10, outside will always enjoy playing. I'm going to go. Okay, it's definitely a 7 or above for me. It's a 7
James,
or above.
James has an early bid on 7.5, I see.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm thinking maybe I should extend it out Rahdo style. I should go 7.253 or...
You have to earn that. And now, actually, James has just raised himself from 7.5 to 8.5.
I love that James he's in a bidding war with himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's great. Okay, friends, I'm gonna make this really easy.
Mrs. Gaviola rates it 1,000.
Oh, 1,000. Yeah. Well, if Mrs. Gabrielle says 1,000,
He loves it 1,000.
She loves it. I love it 3,000. Yes.
But
I'll
perhaps
tell you
he's
what,
not geeky enough for that.
I'm going to go with it's a rock solid game. And I'm curious to see what you ranked it as well. I'm going to go with the number. I'm going to go with 8. 8 out of 10.
All right. My ranking for it is an 8.235.
8.235. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I think it's fantastic. It's fun. It's smooth. It is one of the best Tetris style board games there is. And the last few years, we've had a lot of them. A big bunch of polyomino inspired games. Baron Park and Uwe Rosenberg did a half a dozen of them and all that.
Yeah.
This is easily one of the best ones that are out there as far as I'm concerned. And it really does deserve more love. So I'm glad to give it a little bit of a shout out here. And I expect to see it climb. I expect Mrs. Gaviola to maybe sneak in after hours, and you might see it have bumped up a little bit.
Yeah, I have a feeling we may be playing this tonight, and I may have to revise my rating. So, folks, that's Ruel Ranks. We're gonna do this from time to time, where y'all are gonna help me pick out games, and we're going to rank them because I need to catch up. Because I have not ranked nearly enough games. But hey, we're almost
done. We are out of time. We have 5 minutes for questions and answers. We originally expected we were going to have probably 15 or 20 minutes, but we also forgot we're both Gabiolas. See what I did there? That's terrible. That. And you should be embarrassed for me. I'm sure the audience is. I'm sure they're all groaning.
We grown together. We had grown together. But yeah, let's talk about some Q&A, friends. Any questions? We've got a few minutes here. We're happy to answer them. Just shout out to Amanda Panda Angel. She loves polyomino games as well. Yeah, big fan. It took me the longest time to learn how to say polyomino. It's one of those tricky words.
Polynomial.
Polyomino.
That's I can't even say it. Vassal struggled with. I think he probably had to stand in front of a mirror for hours and just watch himself say it because he used to be a math teacher, so it was very difficult for him.
Yeah. Slivers, thank you, Slivers. We are used to growing on stream. We watch Ruel's channel. There, see, Slivers. Y'all are used to it by now. So anyone have any questions or comments on what we're talking about here? Maybe what you all want to see in the future episodes of R&R. We're loving doing this. This is so much fun hanging out with Rahdo and just talking games. I mean, we learn from the best, folks. Here it is.
Oh, well. I've got plenty to learn too. We're all still growing. All right. Hey,
here's a great question from Monica.
Yep. What is the game struggled most to teach to others? Oh, for me, that's easy. That is such an easy one. I am forever scarred by Myth. MYTH. Did you ever try Myth?
No, I looked at the rule book. I looked at the rule book and that was it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great game, and actually the gameplay is pretty straightforward, but that rule book has got to go down as one of the top 5 worst rule books in board game history. And it's such a shame, and that just led to nothing but trouble for them. But that's easy peasy for me. Oh, I can think of one other.
Yeah.
When I tried to teach my wife Twilight Struggle, this was in the early days, and I got about, 20 minutes into what was probably going to be a 30+ minute, explanation. And she just stopped and said, okay, stop. We're not playing this. And then I just put it all back away and traded it away on Board Game Geek. So that was hard just because it was heartbreaking because I worked hard to be prepared to teach her that game.
Yeah.
But that's not something we would have ever tried to play now, I don't think.
Right. Speaking of Twilight, that's my game that I've struggled to teach is Twilight Imperium.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, only because of the sheer scope of the game. It's a lot of stuff, and actually, this is actually a perfect segue for the Rahdo Runs Through channel. The way I teach it now, I go to Shay Parker. His video of Twilight Imperium is the best way to learn that game. It's 30 minutes. He explains everything you need to know. So whenever I teach new players, I say, yo, watch that video first. And then when we actually play the game, I'll do like a little overview and stuff. And that's how that's a tough game to teach and learn.
Yep. Shay is fantastic. It was actually Shay did a brief series of games called How to Teach, where he just gave his. And watching that is what convinced me he would be able to translate my form of demonstrating gameplay. And it's worked out beautifully. I'm very happy to have him.
Nice.
Cool.
Do we have a few more minutes for questions, or should we?
I was happy with that question. But folks, next week, be prepared to bring the questions at the end, to round it out. But I think, I'm pretty happy. This was a pretty successful launch. Last time, to remind everybody, if you want to throw it back up, the contests at Rahdo.com. We are not going to repeat the secret word now because, of course, you were all there when we all screamed about it, and win this copy of Fort with your name on it. Such a great, great little game. And otherwise, I think if you've got the big red button handy, we can say talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.
That's it, folks. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye.